I know a lot of motherfuckers don't like me, probably wanna fight me, but I just keep the peace, no need to keep a peace. I keep my enemies on a leash, capiche? And keep it real for the people I reach.
We're here at Brock's Performance today for some dyno fun, dyno tuning, testing, and whatnot. And we happen to have the new 2006 ZX10 here. And what a beautiful bike. And we're going to put this bike on the dyno and see how much stock horsepower it makes in just a few minutes. We just had my 2016 H2 on the dyno, and in stock form it produced 205 horsepower. And we've got it cooling down right now so that we could do some more work on it. Wow. Wow. That's a properly broken in motorcycle. Wow. That's a properly broken in motorcycle. Wow. So we had 3 stock bikes dynoed here today, Brock. Yes, sir. We had the 2016 all-new ZX10. We had a 2015 R1. And we had my precious 2016 Ninja H2 put on the dyno. And as we can see from the graph here, we were really surprised by the outcome of a couple of these bikes. 181 horsepower was the new 2016 ZX10. And then we had 186 horsepower from the Yamaha R1. And finally, my Ninja H2, after Brock professionally broke it in, produced 213 horsepower to the wheel.
Wow.
Brock, what are your comments on that?
Well, you can look at the graph here, and the H2 is just a power. It's the power king. Absolutely, no question, no doubt. Horsepower and torque here at 11,000 RPM. I mean, there's just a huge gap. From power standpoint, amazing. Very impressive power you're going to feel.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. And then how does the R1, how does that impress you?
I was really impressed with the R1. We went back, looked at our data, And the bike was so impressive, I questioned whether or not the ECU was actually flashed back to stock.
Wow.
And it was. Very, very impressive, nice and flat. Mm-hmm. But we know that de-restricted, that bike will continue to climb. Very nice. And then for the ZX10, those bikes come very, very restricted. So to see this bike put up 181 horsepower in its restricted form, Kawasaki definitely gave us a great platform there. I'm very excited to see what we're going to end up with when we're finished working our magic. You know, we work very closely with Don Gould, so I know we're going to end up with some great stuff there.
Wow, and as it relates to the 2016 Ninja H2, 213 horsepower, how does that rank with the other H2s that you've had at your facility?
The most by a pretty big margin, I believe. Chad's bike, when he came in, he had quite a few miles compared to some of the other ones. I think he was right around 206
on his 2015.
On his 2015 in completely stock form. So, but your 213, especially with 20 miles on it,
right?
We can go ahead and say she's probably still a little tight.
Oh yeah.
So 213's very impressive.
Well, what are your expectations out of this bike as far as what you're going to do to it? You're going to have full reign over this bike to put your exhaust, your sprockets, your recommended air filters, and anything else, oil additives, and anything that you feel will get more power out of the bike. What do you think is going to happen once you do all that?
Well, you know, and that's one of those things. You know, our bike was able to run 219 miles an hour in a standing start mile, and we're already starting off with this platform. We're going to get into the ECU, see what's going on. So I don't know. We may even have more performance there. So it's going to be interesting to see how all this pans out.
Wow, I am very excited. I'm very pleased that I was able to bring my Ninja H2 from box to Brock's and have him completely turn this bike into what we know is going to be a sick Savage. That's the benefit of working with a person in a company like Brock's Performance, and that's why I decided to bring my bike here with 0 miles on it and allow him to have his way with it. We clearly demonstrated today that Brock knows what he's doing. He knows how to break in a bike on the dyno properly, safely, and get maximum power out of the motorcycle. So if that's what you're interested in, you should definitely consider Brock's Performance for that. We had a wonderful time out here at Brock's today. We got a lot done. We're hanging out with Brock and his crew and his staff that came in on a Saturday to really help us out. I greatly appreciate that, Brock.
Our pleasure.
Yeah, we've got some future videos coming up. We're gonna have another video coming up showing us exactly how Brock broke in this bike on the dyno, what that entailed, how much time it took, because we've been out here all day, and the overall benefit of doing that. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. Subscribe to my channel by clicking on the subscribe button on the very bottom right. Share the video on Facebook, Instagram, and other social media outlets. Hey, if you like this t-shirt, 650E t-shirts, that's right. They're available.
I got one.
You got one, I mean, you got one. And also 650E key tags are also available. The links to those items will be in the description of this video. As always, thanks for viewing. Stay tuned for more videos and Brock with me.